Audrey, I am going to read your energetic signature. So when I went into your energy field, I saw a lot of leaves that were falling on your head. It was very cute, like in a circle. And you were reaching up and you were grabbing them. And I asked your energy body what was happening. And your higher self came in and said that the leaves are, it's so funny because over here on this bush, there's this leaf that is like circling right now. It's so cute. Very synchronistic. Okay, so let me get back on track. Okay, your higher self said that the leaves are representative of good things coming your way. And she said, when these things come into your life, okay, because it's about to be a lot of them, back to back to back to back. In the past, it has been our tendency to say, okay, well, when is it going to run out? This can only be good for so long, and we're kind of preparing for the worst, like as these things are coming in. That's a natural human response, like physiology wise. Sometimes it's a safety trauma response if we've grown up in like lack or instability. And so she wants you, when these things start coming in, rolling in, to really grab onto these leaves, like in your mind, okay? And like, let's say that somebody gives you a cup of coffee, or you find some money, or you hear about a job opportunity, or somebody gifts you with something, like literally anything that is positive, okay, at all, no matter how big or small. The universe doesn't see things as big and small, okay? It's just like, hey, we're going to be grateful for these amazing things that are coming in so we can send you more. And so she said that when something happens, she wants you to take this leaf in your mind's eye and pull it into your chest, almost like you're giving it a hug, and say, thank you so much. I love this. More, please. And what you're doing is you're sending a signal out to the universe, okay, that you are open and receptive to more good things coming into your life because you're so appreciative of the abundance that you are now receiving. Not just money. Okay, that's one form of abundance. But compliments are great. Gifts, getting a parking space that you really wanted, okay, or having like a short line in the grocery store and able to like get your chores done really quickly. Like anything that puts a smile on your face. So we need to take a second to really embrace that because there's some big things that are coming in, okay? So she's like, hey, we need to make sure that we're on the right vibration and frequency in order to receive them. I don't know if you really enjoy fall weather, because I saw you, the leaves are kind of representative of fall, but I saw you with this really cozy sweater on, and then you had a scarf, and you're like, So it might also just you like being cozy. So then when I went deeper into your energy field, I saw this 1,000-hand Buddha, and as I was calling your energy body, a different timeline version of you came forward, and they were a Tibetan monk. I don't like to call them past lives because they're all happening at one time, and if we look at it through that perspective lens, then you are actually able to speak with them through meditation. Okay, and they can actually help mentor you, or you can help heal them in real time. And the reason I say that is because when I was speaking to this monk version of yourself, he was standing in this it wasn't a field necessarily, it was like this wooden arena. It's not like a fighting arena, but just like a type of like prayer arena. And he was standing and he was doing all of these like hand movements. And at first I thought he was doing light language. Okay, but it wasn't. He was doing mudras, and I was asking what those were for, and he had learned how to magnetize his energy field around him through his hand chakras. We all have them, okay, but through his hand chakras, and then amplify them with these mudras. And I said, oh, interesting. What are we doing with magnetizing our auric field, or energy fields? And I went to go look at it because it was this giant dome that was around him. Most people's energy fields extend 6 feet outside of him. His was much wider. Okay, so he'd been practicing this for a long time. And then I went to go look up at what I was kind of seeing as like this clear, not clear, but kind of like translucent shield, if you will, that's representative of it. And there was these honeycomb structures. It kind of looked like bees and the honeycombs that they make. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I've never seen one like this before. And I said, they're like actual little capsules. They're almost like ice cubes. And I said, can I go into one of them? Because I could feel that there was a lot of energy that was radiating out of every one. And he was like, sure. And I jumped in one, and I was like, oh my gosh. I said, there's a whole other timeline in here, like a whole different reality. And I was like, what does this do? How does this work? And I was just asking all these questions, and he was just staring at me, and he was just waiting for me to stop talking. He was like, I'll tell you if you, and I was like, okay, Mr. Sassy Pants. I said, you tell me what's going on. Okay. So he told me that through learning how to magnetize his field like this, he was able to pick up on potentialities of realities. Okay. Or, infinite possibilities, if you will, because the way that parallel realities work is every time that you make a decision, okay, any version of you, but let's just say in this incarnation, anytime that you make a decision, it creates split off timelines. Like there's a version of you that picked one path, and then a version of you that picked another path, and then they have completely different realities. Sometimes they're very similar to one another, and then we can get into like deja vu and what that is. Sometimes it's picking up on a parallel timeline version of yourself that's very similar. But he is able to perceive into all these different choices, which help him make more aligned decisions in the present. The crux of this gift, though, okay, because there is one, there's the other side of the coin, okay, is your higher self was telling me that you tend to be an overanalyzer, an overthinker. You're very self-aware, because she said you understand how much weight decisions can have. And so sometimes we get stuck because we're like, okay, well, if I do this, and this might happen. If I do this, this might happen. And that's actually coming from a disempowered state of being, because we're not trusting self. Okay, not trusting self that we can pivot if we need to. And I've definitely been there in my life too, of just being able to see down my timeline a lot further and trying to make all these like micro adjustments in the here and now, so I make sure that I'm on the most aligned path. But that takes a lot of joy and magic out of life, because if everything just worked out exactly how we had planned it or thought it was going to, oh my gosh, that would be so boring, right? Like we don't get fun surprises or like miracles or signs and synchronicities. And so your higher self said a karmic lesson for both you and him is to trust yourself. Okay, that you can get yourself on the right path, because we're taking up a lot of time with this indecisiveness. But in saying that though, because he has gotten so skilled and fine-tuned at this gift, something that you can actually learn from him is how to connect into these different parallel versions of yourself, or these different incarnations, because that's one of his abilities. And so this is something that you can go within meditation and speak with him about if you want to gain some more clarity around that. But it can help you really expand your Akasha field, if you will, and your knowledge and your wisdom, because then you just have so many more facets open and available to you. So some other things that you can do are work on your root chakra and your earth star chakra, because there is that fear kind of trusting self that's still coming up. And so working in those areas can definitely help with the stability. Also, working with your hand chakras and doing some research about that. Mudras, if those call to you. You don't have to learn mudras. That's just something that he enjoyed doing and helped him, but we're all different. But you might really get into it if you start researching it, but working with your hand chakras would be enough, okay? And then learning about timelines, parallel realities, and quantum jumping, doing research in all three of those areas. And I want to thank you so much for letting me read for you, and I hope you have an amazingly magical day.